Welcome to SportsGrid. It's been a heck of a week here at the network. Here is some of what you may have missed.
The second apron is literally destroying the league. It's destroying the league because players are getting moved, teams are getting broken up, and honestly, I think players are not getting the value of money that they probably could because everybody's scared of this apron. I want to say this. I want to see what happens under the next collective bargaining agreement. Because if I'm the Players Association, the one thing I'm getting rid of is that second apron. Because the second apron, Kevin, let's be honest, it's not a hard cap, but teams are operating like it is a hard cap.
Christine, I do want to ask you this question here. Sarah Spain said something, and I want you to respond to this if you can. Says that Brennan was painting the entire league with one broad stroke. We would never say that the WNBA, the NBA hates fill in the blank. That's described every single player in the league as having an opinion and being a part of an agenda. She does that all the time with the WNBA, and it's frankly a dereliction of duties as a journalist. I'd love your response to that.
By the way, sorry, I lost you there. I guess the way of the world and technology, and I hope you got the gist of obviously what I was saying there about how illustrative that whole situation is. I've known Sarah for a long time. I have supported her in ways big and small. She would call me often kind of last minute or within the last couple hours before her show on ESPN and ask if I could be on. Sometimes needing something, or she told me it's, last minute, sorry. And I, of course, said yes every single time, whether it was here in DC or if I was at the Olympics or what have you. And I will, always support women and men, younger people in sports media. I do more mentoring and supporting and talking to people than anything else. And Sarah's been one of those people for years, and she knows it. For some reason, she has decided to attach herself to me on this. That's her right. It's a free country. She got things completely wrong and put them all on Twitter when I asked the two questions of Dejanay Carrington that then the WNBA players wanted to ban me for. They failed miserably. I did not get banned. And what it showed was, oh my goodness, are they saying that women can't handle the same questions as men? And, the 21st century, I don't know what, but that was a sad day and sad time for the WNBA and the players to not like a couple of questions that helped the athlete, Dejanay Carrington, clear the air. But Sarah got involved in that, had 4 or 5 things wrong, put them all over Twitter. And I called her. I don't ever tweet at people. I called her and I said, this is all wrong. And she said, I'll quote you saying that. And she wanted to tweet that. And I said, no, don't do that. And then I had to tweet it out just to clear the air. And she was wrong. And she admitted she was wrong. So I don't know what's going on with Sarah. I feel very comfortable with my journalism. I think anyone I work for, USA Today, CNN, ABC, PBS NewsHour, feel very comfortable with my journalism. I've been doing this for over 40 years, as you know. The reason my book is a New York Times bestseller is because it's all factual. That column I wrote the other day is there's not one person other than Sarah who's squawked about that. And but again, she has every right to do that. I don't know what's going on with her, but I have no beef with her. This is a one-way street. There's something that she is just continuing on.
I hate to say it. These girls are jealous. And Kelsey Blum brought it up. It's a race thing.
Wow.
It sucks. It's not right. Caitlin Clark is not the 11th best guard in the league. Big Phil's. Caitlin Clark is not even is better than the 11th best player in the league. If you're going to tell me, and I have my vote, if you ask me right now, top 5 players in the world, right? Asia Wilson is first. If she was healthy, Nafisha Collier is second. Brianna Stewart is third. And then it's Paige, Caitlin Clark. Either or. 4-5, 5-4. Ready? Asia as a front court player. Fishkali's a front court player. Brianna Stewart's a front court player. So I'm telling you, the very worst Caitlin Clark should be is 2. She's 11. It's jealousy. And this is why the league sucks. Because they've created, Big Stills, I'm going to tell you something right now. Do you know the Indiana Fever the rest of the season? Do you know that, ready for this? Every game they play is on national TV for the rest of the year till September. Every single game. They have created a narrative with this kid. They have pissed on her. They're their cash cow, and then they treat her like garbage. They better figure it out. You want to create less jealousy, and you want to see how great this league is? Show Paige Beckers on national TV more. Show Asia Wilson on TV more. Show Brianna Stewart on TV more. Show these other players more so that when every time a WNBA player puts on a TV set, they don't see this kid. Because that's why they're going after her. And the league can't save themselves because they are tied to the dollar.
But here we are again, wondering if Clutch, the LeBron James, Rich Paul agency, is going to be the swing factor in this decision. To make that clear, I think every single second of LeBron to Golden State was tied to AD going to Golden State. Clutch, I don't think that deal is happening. I don't think the Warriors are legit threats, personally, to land LeBron unless they make the AD deal. Tyrese Maxey is the third Clutch star. You could argue he's above AD, but just in terms of the understood status across the league, LeBron is in his own category. You saw the whiteboard had the star next to Maxey. Rich Paul does like to have, deep tentacles throughout an organization. Philly becoming the Clutch team doesn't sound like a bad idea. I don't think the Sixers are the favorites for LeBron, but Coach, I believe they are real deal threats, a top 3 threat to land LeBron this summer.
I think they're a top 2 threat. To me, the top 2 threats are Cleveland and Philadelphia. I mean, there's immediate playing time. You could easily put LeBron on the team in Philadelphia, move Dean Wade to the bench where T has played. And I think he'd be very valuable off the bench. You could send him to Cleveland and he just takes Dean Wade's spot in the starting lineup as a small forward, right? With that big lineup with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. It's a big 2. I mean, if you want to say third is Miami because of Giannis, but to me, LeBron's the legacy guy. That's why if the Knicks didn't win, he was going to the Knicks. Because he goes to the Knicks, they win a championship, that's his legacy. If he went to the Knicks and won a title, then that would have cemented him over Jordan. Probably in my eyes as well. But if he goes to Philly, another team, 1983, right? They're more than 40 years, 43 years, 44 years, Kevin, without a ring. They haven't made the finals since 2001. If he goes to Philadelphia with that team, and he gets Embiid a ring, and he gets Maxey a ring, and gets Nick Nurse a second ring in a second franchise, and elevates his status as a coach all the time in the NBA, that's where I think he's going to go.
Good stuff, just getting started. We will be right back after this.
Should be the team to step up and secure him.
Yeah, Atlanta's really interesting because they're, much further down the list at only, 8% right now on Call Sheet. But this is a team that has constantly come up in terms of GMs thinking, or the reports suggesting that GMs are thinking that Atlanta Braves are the dark horse team to kind of swoop in there and get Skubal. And that's going to be something that, we should pay attention to.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
This is the third time he's been medically checked. Even the refs coming over. He's like, dude, like come on. Like after every sort of play in front of the net, the kind of goal he's done.
Yeah.
He's
stop jumping.
He's on the turf, like you said, like he's like driving off the top rope. Look at him here again. I give him credit. He's freaking fearless.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
The older players in the WNBA going, hey, man, we were here when they were paying us nothing. We were here when we had to go overseas to make a paycheck. You're walking in here, you don't realize how easy you have it. So there is some of that too. But yeah, Jordan got beaten up. Magic got beaten up. Bird got beaten up. Kareem got beaten up. Wemby is getting beaten up, by the way.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Welcome to SportsGrid. It's been a heck of a week here at the network. Here is some of what you might have missed this week.
Do you believe that Kathy Engelbert should be replaced as the commissioner of the WNBA?
I do. I've known Kathy for a while. I like her. She's a woman in a man's world. She ran Deloitte. We're a few years apart in age. I totally respect that as someone who had a lot of that, being the only woman in the press box or whatever. University of Miami, as you know, and other places, maybe one or two of us, and that was the only woman in the locker room, etc. So I respect her background and her leadership and this great resume that she has. I don't get this. I don't get it at all. The paralysis, the inability to, I will not even editorialize. I will say the facts. The number of times that Kathy Engelbert has been asked by journalists, picking out John Wertheim with 60 Minutes as an example, asked about Caitlin Clark, and then her answer is, well, Caitlin and Angel. And John Wertheim, to his great credit, wonderful friend and obviously great colleague, says, no, I didn't ask you about Angel. I only asked you about Caitlin. And then in her the WNBA playoffs I covered in the finals in 2024, went on and on about all the things that had happened that year: record-breaking attendance, the TV viewership, moving to bigger arenas, all because of one person, Caitlin Clark. And throughout that, I think it was close to 20 minutes, 18, 19 minutes, Kathy Engelbert never said the words Caitlin Clark, never uttered her name. So something's going on, and leadership is needed. And when you have a void like this, the void is filled with anger and aggression, and you get things like that picture that's going to last forever of Alyssa Thomas's fist on the throat of Caitlin Clark, the woman who's responsible for the charter flights and more money, at least in some ways, with the collective bargaining agreement that Alyssa Thomas is getting. So that fist to the throat, and also kneeing her groin beforehand, and then the very weak penalty. That's the other thing. Slap on the wrist, $1,000 fine for a woman, Alyssa Thomas, making $1.2 million this year, obviously because of the increase in interest and the salaries, in part because of Caitlin, large part because of Caitlin Clark, and also just a one-game suspension when it should have been, I think, at least 10 games.
What do you say, USA, Belgium? Maybe the most anticipated match of the quarterfinals. not just from an American angle, but everybody's been roped into this one now, as Flo Balogun is back, as am I. Kevin Walsh and Gabe Morency here. A million picks, a million thoughts. I'll say this. Most unbiased man history of sports media. I'm on Belgium over team total 1.5. It's plus money. That's insane. The USA concede multiple goals to every single good team they play. So that's point one. The other thing is I've bet Belgium team committed fouls 12, 14, 15, 16. I think Belgium, with their lineup change, it's the only thing that makes sense. Doku and Kevin De Bruyne are maybe their two best offensive players. 2 of the 5 certainly with Lukaku, Trossard, and Tielemans. But I think they're going to foul. I think there's going to be a lot of bad blood here, Gabe. We'll talk through everything, but I know the game just started. You always tweet them out, but if you want to just remind people how you are betting this match.
Yeah, this is pretty lethal of me, especially coming off last night's card fest between Mexico and England. But I'm going to go under 3.5 cards here. I really believe that the officials want to stay the F out of the way tonight in this game, right? They don't want controversy. And if anything, too, I got to be honest, if I was Belgium, I would push the envelope a little bit. Point blank. You know, point blank. I'd be like, all right, let's see what you do when I tackle this guy. Are you going to, okay, let's go. I would push the envelope a little bit if I was Belgium. We start off with a Belgium kick and a little bit of skill and flash here, Kevin. A little bit of danger off the top. That was my boy Trossard, too, wasn't it, that took the original shot? No, it wasn't. Actually, got blocked. Okay, he took one and got blocked then after. But I played Trossard to score the first goal at plus 900. You know, this isn't anti-USA or anything, and I didn't really take a lot of heat online for this or anything like that. But, dude, you and I talked about it. You're getting Belgium at plus money at this price?
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. I mean, they just played these two teams a couple of months ago, guys. It was 5-2 Belgium. Belgium aren't, you know, like people think they're underachievers. They're still the ranked 19 coming in the world, coming in tonight. And Belgium just have earned their first corner kick of the game off that big early save right now. So we do have some early action here, Kevin.
Let me just add quickly.
I'm going Belgium 2-1. I'm not going to rattle off all my picks. They're up on the screen. Yeah. I posted them online, but yeah, I'm going Belgium. And how about the saves, Kevin? Already 2 saves in this game. We played the over 5.5. You and I talked about it. 2 saves for the U.S. already. 2 shots on target for Belgium already. But I got a 2-1 Belgium game at 10-1, guys.
I don't hate that bet at all. If I said my scoreline, everybody would call me un-American, so I'm going to just whisper it.
You know what? I got to do it. I got to be the one here, right?
But like, so this is the thing. Part of it is obviously, and you know this from I bet Belgium to win this tournament as one of my 2 bets alongside Argentina.
Bold,
and Belgium looked awful. And then I think they had one of the best stretches of play any team has had in this tournament. Senegal are not bad. To turn it on like that against that team and to not even, like, I know it was a controversial penalty, but for there to be no penalty, like, to not even get to penalties was remarkable by Belgium. They can roll offensively. I'll say, if this is 3-1 Belgium, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I'm on the team total over. I didn't bet their money line, but I also didn't bet the over in the game, and that's all for a reason here. Now, there's the Flo Balogun piece, but before we get to that, we knew that was the case. Belgium decided to not start Doku or Kevin De Bruyne, Gabe, is one of the most bizarre lineup decisions we have seen in this tournament.
Let me just backtrack to quickly something you said here that kind of flew under the radar, even with myself. I think it's ridiculous that the red card was rescinded, but whatever. We're playing a game now, right? I thought Thierry Henry, as always, just sort of, always has the mic drop line. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Like, he's playing. It is what it is. You can cry about it, but he's playing. But something you said about the penalty, Senegal got robbed. That never should have been a penalty kick, right? And it's funny. Belgium, like, you get calls, you don't get calls. It is what it is in this tournament, and there's not always a vast conspiracy after the fact. But obviously what went down with, the rescindance of this, but it is something, Kevin, that you just brought up that, like, Senegal got screwed, and Belgium were the benefactors of a very gratuitous call as well. So, and Rudy Garcia wasn't filing any appeals about that, was he? So I will throw that out there.
Great stuff. We're just getting started. We'll be back right after this.
Welcome to SportsGrid. It's been an exciting week. Here's a look at some of the highlights that you might have missed.
You know, one thing that I've also noticed that for me, I didn't really know who Lionel Messi was. I know the name. I knew who he was, but what this World Cup has done has exposed me, and maybe I would say other Americans, into seeing who really are the biggest athletes in the world. You could put Messi any place on the planet, parachute him in, and people would know who he is. And it just made me think I couldn't do that to Tom Brady. So I think the Americans being good too, David, it's also exposed us. This guy never does interviews. This guy's not a publicity hound, but yet there he is, the most popular guy on the planet, over 500 million people on his Instagram accounts. It's really exposing Americans to maybe outside of our parameters a little bit and outside of our borders to see what really is going on. I think this has been a real cultural thing for our country. We're learning about I've never heard of some of the stars on France. I know who Cristiano Ronaldo is. I know all these guys, but hasn't it exposed Americans more to maybe outside of our borders on really who the biggest athletes in the world are?
1,000,000% in it at the perfect time, because we are, celebrating our 250th anniversary. But in the grand scheme of things, that's nothing. I mean, the countries on the other side of the pond have been there thousands of years. So we're small and we're in our own little world with a sport like American football that's been around since, the first Super Bowl was 1960s, 66, 67. NBA that goes back to the 40s. Major League Baseball goes back further. But soccer's been here forever. And this is the world sport. And we always joke, whatever, nobody likes soccer. It's over there. It doesn't make any sense. It literally, legitimately is the world sport. And you're right. I have a 9-year-old daughter who literally doesn't like sports. Her only exposure to sports is that daddy's never around because he's working in sports. Knows who Lionel Messi is. Knows who Cristiano Ronaldo is. She knows which one she thinks is cuter. They know who that is. But if you were to go to, I don't know, Israel, does everybody know who Tom Brady is? I'm not sure you can say that because we're in our own little world. It has opened America up to other things. And on the flip side, you're seeing Europeans and Africans and Asians come over to our country, free refills, gas stations that are the size of Costco, and things that they've never seen before, land that doesn't stop because it goes on for 3,000 miles, things that they've never seen where I've been over there. You have nowhere you can park your car. You have to pay to use the bathroom. Like, there's no air conditioning. It's a different world over here. They're experiencing that, which is phenomenal. And we are seeing things like, seriously, but before the World Cup started, did you know where DR Congo was? No. Nobody had any idea where DR Congo was. Now we do. No. We know where it is. Everyone knows where Cape Verde is.
You know what I really loved is that I had a person over on my social media account, and that person goes, man, I don't need my passport to go from New York to New Jersey. I mean, I think the things that we take, for granted, many people that are over here enjoying themselves, and this has been just an absolutely insane event. Now, I do have one complaint, and believe this or not, David, I sent an email to Roger Goodell. Some of the stadiums that I'm watching, and I'm looking at the grass that's on the field, and I'm looking at what these guys are playing on and what it's required that FIFA has for their athletes. You see so few knee injuries and ankle injuries in a sport where people get stepped on. We saw the red card the other night against the U.S. player. I mean, how come the NFL owners don't do this for the players that are their biggest assets?
What was your biggest takeaway, Coach, especially as you've had a couple of days to sit with the Jaylen Brown, Sixers, Celtics, Paul George swap?
Initially, when Shams reported it, I thought it was NBA Centel. Like, I was like, someone got his phone. Russians got him. He's been hacked. Because forget the fact that Jaylen Brown got traded. Jaylen Brown got traded to arguably your third best rival. If you think about the three biggest rivals for the Celtics, you're thinking, Lakers, Knicks, 76ers. So you trade him. So I'm like, they got Ball. Like, who's going in a deal? Oh, it's Maxey? Edgecombe? Like, what? Paul George? But wait, is this Is this the Indiana Pacer Paul George? Or is this the Paul George that just literally was almost unplayable in the playoffs?
Now that is some good stuff, and we're just getting started. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome to SportsGrid. It's been quite a week. Here is a look at some of what you might have missed.
And Belgium won, U.S. 0. And yeah, I am sure a lot of the Americans tuning in want me to say now's the time to go and bet the U.S. I'm not going to say that. I'm certainly not going to say that. Belgium's minus 145 on the three-way money line. It should be minus 200. I'm not going to go bet it. Like, I'm just being honest. I'm not going to do that.
We're still early, but I'm glad I clicked that right at the last second. Like, I have them to advance. I already had Belgium on plus a half a goal parlay with the earlier game from today. Yeah. And it just kept staring at me. I'm like, dude, this is like, what, because it's in Seattle? Belgium are plus 190 in regulation? You got to be kidding me. And I don't know if you saw my post. I said before, number one, and there's been a difference with this, Kevin. Number one, Belgium are two different teams, guys, when you put them in the sun in the afternoon and you put them in the evening or you put them in the dome. Yeah, that really is true, Kevin, though. You've seen it. They were dying, bro, in one of the games earlier that it was hot. Rudy Garcia looked like he was going to have a heart attack. Like he was sweating. Like they were dying. You put them in a dome, boom, boom. You put them in the evening, suddenly the nighttime, they're flying around. This is 5 o'clock. It's Pacific Northwest. I'm out here. It is kind of hot, but you see it's all shadows on the pitch. Number two, it's going to be a hostile environment in Seattle tonight. Yeah, Kevin, because guys on Belgium have never played in hostile environments before, right? These guys are all playing in the third league in Cyprus, right? They're not all in like the EPL and the Liga. These guys all play in the top leagues, the top teams at the top of the world.
Yeah.
Like this doesn't faze them playing in Seattle tonight, you know?
Like, I understand England are better than Belgium, But if the atmosphere of Mexico wasn't enough to make Mexico the favorites in the game, right? Then Seattle's
that
not
was
enough
a
to
hell
make
of an
the US
atmosphere,
favorites.
bro. You got to tip your cap to England for winning that. That's like
unbelievable.
What they went through. You see the bus to get there.
What's your feeling on where he goes and plays basketball this coming season?
Well, firstly, with the Lakers piece of it is the Lakers didn't appreciate what they had. I'm sorry they didn't. They would not have made the Walker Kessler trade if LeBron stayed. That makes no sense. LeBron is the second best player on that team. They ran to give Austin Reeves the max contract, and yet they probably were only interested in LeBron at the minimum. I understand some teams earn different things, and I don't think the Lakers earned LeBron on a minimum contract, frankly. And I think there's a few factors for him in figuring this out. I think he, of course, wants a nice story. I think he wants to compete, and I don't think the Lakers felt like either really one of those. I don't know if he believed in the ability to compete. I don't know if he believed in that story either. I think the options on the table, if it is about coming home, then this thing's actually over and it's just going back to Cleveland. But I also think if that's what it was, why not have it already over already, right? He could have signed over July 4th weekend. A ton of, big-time NBA signings have happened in that time frame there. So there has to be more to it than just returning home. Not saying he's not going to go back to Cleveland, but are there other roster moves he's interested in the teams he's considering making? People worry, Dan, about Miami filling out that roster if there's going to be enough shooting. So is he waiting to see how that plays out, right? I mean, if he's going to sign on the minimum, and I don't know if he really will, but if he is going to sign on the minimum, there is no rush, right? He's not holding up anybody's cap space. He's not holding up anybody's plans. So I think Cleveland are a legit threat. I think Miami are a legit threat. I think the Sixers are as well. I think Denver more than Minnesota. And I think the Golden State thing only has legs if they land Anthony Davis, and that doesn't seem to be happening.
When I see that Brad is competing at a DP World Tour event 9 years removed from his last professional event, am I surprised to see it? No, I'm not. But you also just got to witness all these guys playing, very recently, seeing it firsthand. Were you surprised at all to see Brad in contention at the DP World Tour?
Well, Brad misses a 4-footer on 18 to shoot 61.
So the answer would be no?
No, not surprised at all. That guy is so good, dude. And, I think the quote, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago that he had, I'm sure you saw it, where he said, I don't have to grind it out here. Like, and my life doesn't depend on whether or not I make cuts. I think it was something like that. I may not be getting it right, but
it's a nice place to be.
A lot of people misconstrued that, but I'm like, man, good for you, dude. Like, you don't have to go out there and talk and do what we were just talking about and really struggle, like mentally, physically, your personal life, you're gone from your family. You don't have to do that because you figured out another way to make a living. At the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make a living, right? There are 15 to 20 guys that play golf right now that are playing for record book stuff. Majority of us are trying to pay the bills. And so, Brad Dawkey, good for you. Like, that's awesome. But yes, that dude is a stud. I saw it up close. Another guy that 180 something ball speed with just a smooth one. Like, it's fun to watch those dudes up close.
Something that stuck out the other day to me was when they took out Ronaldo, and I heard a lot of people say that the coach from Portugal should have been doing this a long time ago. And boy, the onions it took for him to do that, and they get the win. Was it the right move in your opinion, Michelle, them pulling Ronaldo out like that and substituting him?
Well, they substituted him and they scored just a few minutes later after he left. I mean, there had been people saying, and look, this World Cup so far, the stars have really stepped up except for him. But, you look at the Golden Boot race right now. And Messi at 39 years old, can we even just forget about it? This guy's unbelievable. But he's in first place right now. Kylian Mbappe, Harry Kane, all these guys, Haaland, these are the best players. These are the best players in the world, and they're all stepping up in this World Cup, which usually doesn't happen. A lot of times, some new players come along and become stars, and the stars of the tournament sometimes don't have great tournaments. In this World Cup, all the superstars, the really big superstars, have all stepped up, except Ronaldo. Ronaldo has not been as in form as the other top players that you see on the list of the Golden Boot. And yeah, there were a lot of people who felt, he's 41 and that the team was better without him. Before the World Cup started, there were people saying that the Portugal team is better without Ronaldo on the field. And, Portugal so far, even though they have advanced, and obviously things can change. This tournament, as we saw last night, anything can happen. But up until that point, Portugal had probably been the biggest disappointment in this World Cup. Portugal and Uruguay just not living up to the expectations. Portugal was expected to be a contender to win the title. Portugal, Norway, and Morocco were sort of the three, non-favorite favorites that had a chance that everybody was talking about. A lot of people were talking about Portugal as a serious contender. And up until this last game, they looked very shaky. And a lot of people felt that Ronaldo was kind of taking up a space on the field and just couldn't run and couldn't do what he used to do.
This is a harder one. Aroldis Chapman's next team. We know he'll probably get traded from Boston, and we know it won't be the Yankees. So he could end up on a number of different teams here, Tom. You just look at some of the postseason teams and then take a guess from there. You mentioned Milwaukee. Obviously, they could use another arm, a dominant closer. I think the Cubs in the same division, by the way, could use some extra arms like Aroldis Chapman, too. So this is a little bit of a coin flip guessing game.
I would say it's a no on San Diego. They're not going to be in a spot to compete for the playoffs. And granted, they may be able to offer back a high-level package for him, but that's just not a team where I anticipate him going. Him alongside Uribe in Milwaukee is really interesting.
All right, good stuff there. We're just getting started. We'll be right back.
Atlanta should be the team to step up and secure him.
Yeah, Atlanta's really interesting because they're, much further down the list at only, 8% right now on Call Sheet. But this is a team that has constantly come up in terms of GMs thinking, or the reports suggesting that GMs are thinking that Atlanta Braves are the dark horse team to kind of swoop in there and get Skubal. And that's going to be something that, we should pay attention to.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
This is the third time he's been medically checked. Even the refs coming over. He's like, dude, come on. After every sort of play in front of the net, the kind of goal he's done.
Yeah.
He's
stop jumping.
He's on the turf, like you said, he's driving off the top rope. Look at him here again. I give him credit. He's freaking fearless.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
The older players in the WNBA going, hey, man, we were here when they were paying us nothing. We were here when we had to go overseas to make a paycheck. You're walking in here, you don't realize how easy you have it. So there is some of that too. But yeah, Jordan got beaten up. Magic got beaten up. Bird got beaten up. Kareem got beaten up. Wemby is getting beaten up, by the way.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
It's been a great week here on SportsGrid. Let's take a look back at some of the highlights that you might have missed.
And anyone out there that I assume had a Messi Mbappe parlay, Messi Mbappe Holland, Argentina to advance, all of those tickets, Joe, are back alive. If you have an Argentinian team future to win it all, to reach the semis, to reach the finals, everything is back alive again. The only question now, Joe, is will Argentina get a third one and win this in 90 minutes? They are plus 145, back to the favorite, and now they're minus 450 to advance.
See, but you know what I loved about this? Again, Messi started it, by throwing the ball, making something happen. It was a nice little chip shot that he threw right in front of the goaltender, and it was a ricochet that came back out to Messi that he was able to get a second shot off and be able to beat the goaltender there. But, I mean, it started by stop passing the ball and start taking some shots, and that's exactly what they did. By the way, expected goals, 2.42 for Argentina, 0.88 for Egypt, and yet here we are. I hate to say it, but we still got 15 minutes to go, Egypt. Could there be another? Could they score 3 goals in the final 15 minutes to pull this out, Tom?
That's a great question. Will that third one come through in the final? What do we got? It's 84 now, so 6. Let's call it 9, 10-ish minutes left. Will they get another one through? The expected goals are through the roof for them. And again, it was just a matter of when, not if, they were going to score 19 shots now and 6 on goal.
And there it is. I just said I won't be surprised there's another goal. I can't believe this. Belgium just scored. This is insanity.
No way.
Kevin, Belgium just scored.
It's a rocket ship?
The over 2.5's already hit, baby. Over 2.5's already hit.
Why didn't we get involved?
Dude,
Why didn't we get involved?
Why
didn't we get involved? We saw this a mile away.
I just said, he said what, Kevin, you heard me. I just said I wouldn't be surprised if another goal. I couldn't even finish my sentence. Couldn't even finish my sentence, and they scored.
Oh my God, I can't even believe what I'm watching. I'm a little speechless, which isn't as good, a good thing as a broadcaster.
This is wild.
Belgium currently have their 3 best offensive players on the bench. Well, maybe
stole the momentum back. The crowd was going crazy. We've seen this, though. Oh, look at Pochettino just booted the Gatorades over. Look at this.
That's a disaster. I mean, you talk about momentum. Belgium are now bigger favorites than they have been the whole way.
Even more now, huh?
Live totals 4.5 minus 152.
Well,
here I am betting our first game to be a rocket ship. I'm such an idiot. Good Lord.
I hate betting over. So, if I'm betting over, I think it's going over. So at least we hit the over here. I got to tell you, though, I'm predominantly an under better, guys. You don't see me saying right now, Kevin, you know what? Let's hit under 4.5 in game.
Yeah, you usually would. 5.5 with a game tomorrow.
They just beat them. They just beat them 5-2. This is, I don't know.
Yeah.
This turned into a 4-2, 4-1.
Like
this is going to be a track meet, guys. There's going to be more goals. And now there's another foul on the U.S. Oh boy, here comes the card. Yellow card, McKinney. Yellow
Easy
card, McKinney.
Easy 1-2.
Trump on line 2.
Honestly.
That's not a fair call. I know sports.
the thing I will just tell people is I as somebody who has the Belgium fouls prop, I don't know, look, cards wise, there are going to be fouls in this game. There are going to be fouls. These guys are going to start to hit one another. I am very, very confident kind of in that and just, where this game is positioned right now. Belgium now Belgium now have more momentum than when it was 1-0, right?
Now they're fired up. Yeah, now they're sweating and they're fired up. They got to sweat. Exactly. Yeah. Now they're like, all right, it's real. But the U.S., we saw, the set pieces are dangerous for the U.S. They're not getting any sustained pressure, though. They score on that set piece.
How surprised are you with this Rays baseball team? Here we are, July 4th. Everyone said at the beginning of the year, David, that this was a team that maybe was going to be in transition as they're trying to look for a new stadium on whether they're going to stay in the Tampa Bay, St. Pete area or move potentially to Orlando or Nashville. And here they are. They're 4 games up heading into today in the American League East with a payroll of $100 million versus the Yankees. Are you surprised?
Yes and no. Yes, because you just call it out. $100 million, small market team. They have no business being where they are. But no, because this is what they do. This is what the Rays have always done. This is what, I know the Marlins have the 2 titles and the Rays don't, but the Rays have been far more relevant over the last 30 years overall than the Marlins because they continuously stay in contention and compete, and they've been there more than the Marlins have outside of the 2 titles because they know how to build a team. And I know their GM and president left to go build the Dodgers, and now he's got a dynasty over there. But they were doing it right in Tampa, and when everybody zigs, they zag. Back in the day when it was, let's do small ball, the Rays went out there and they did money ball and got the players who got on base and the ones who hit the home runs. Now that everybody's doing money ball, the Rays are going back to small ball, and they're bunting, and they're stealing bases, and they're scoring runs. They just zig when everybody else zags, and they're doing it with players that nobody really knows because they have a small roster. They know how to scout and they know how to draft, and that's the bread and butter of it. But at the end of the day, it's still going to be the behemoth of the Dodgers and the Yankees. And I think the most surprising part about the AL East isn't so much that the Rays are on top, which is surprising enough. It's that, last year's American League champion Toronto Blue Jays are in that division. The team that's considered the best in the American League, the New York Yankees, are in that division. The Red Sox are always supposed to be good in that division, yet it's Tampa on top when everybody else is fighting for second and third place.
How about this in the American League? The worst teams in the American League right now are only 7 games out from a playoff spot. Is it parity or bad baseball going on in the American League this year?
I actually think it's bad baseball. I don't think there's anybody really good in the American League. I mean, the Yankees are supposed to be the best team in the league. There's nobody in the Central Division that's any good. I mean, you're looking at the White Sox, who lost 1.5 billion games 2 years ago, were in second place in that division. And in the AL West.
All right, good stuff there. We're just getting started. We'll be right back.
Welcome to SportsGrid. It's been quite a week. Here's a look at some of what you might have missed.
The odds, because me and Kevin are going to be tapping out. But we're going to be with you tomorrow night for 3 hours. See, there's no World Cup soccer tomorrow. We're going to fill the void for you. We're going to return to the baseball world, take a look at the futures, UFC, big card with Conor McGregor coming back this week. A lot of stuff on the betting radar. Take a look at the Golden Boot and all the World Cup futures. But Switzerland are minus 105 right now to advance. Colombia are minus 118 to advance. To be a draw. So to win in extra time here, Switzerland is plus 355. A tie is minus 154. Colombia to win here is plus 305. That's like to win in the next 30 minutes. And as I stated, the total over under 0.5, minus 118 to the under, minus 105 to the over. I don't know, Kevin. It's going to be the same thing. Maybe Switzerland buzz around a bit for the first couple of minutes, but it's 2 15-minute half, guys. So it's the same thing all the time. Once these two teams get to like that 10-minute mark and they know, well, there's only 5 minutes left in this period, they're going to play for the next 15 minutes. Next thing you know, we're going to be in penalty kicks.
Right. I'm wondering if now, Gabe, though, that we are into extra time, do the cards pile up? It's the only thing that's come to mind here. Is because I don't think these teams are going to stop complaining and fouling one another.
Does the ref just suddenly change, though, and say, all right, now I'm going to start calling things?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. He's gonna
I say we go to penalty kicks.
Tariq Skubal's next team. Is it Atlanta? Is it the Dodgers? Is it the Phillies? Who would it be, Tom? I mean, any team could certainly use him, but you have to have the prospect capital to be able to make the trade. I mean, there was some talk that a team would trade for him and then extend him. That's not going to happen. I mean, this is a Scott Boras client. We know that. So this is going into the offseason. But do you have an opinion on this? I mean, I just named the two teams I think it's most likely to be. If I am Atlanta, this is the move to make for me. Like the Dodgers can get him or they could not get him. If Skubal wants to just join the party here in LA, he certainly can. But I think I think Atlanta should be the team to step up and secure him.
Yeah, Atlanta's really interesting because they're much further down the list at only 8% right now on Kalshi. But this is a team that has constantly come up in terms of GMs thinking, or the reports suggesting that GMs are thinking that Atlanta Braves are the dark horse team to kind of swoop in there and get Skubal, and that's going to be something that we should pay attention to. But it's interesting to see them so far down the list compared to the Dodgers, the Brewers, the Yankees, the Phillies, the Mets, all the way at the top. I would say the Mets are an absolute no at this point. Granted, they do have some high-level prospects that are ready, which is something that the Tigers have indicated that they want. They want, MLB-ready prospects. The Mets do have a number of those players that they could, flip over to the Tigers, but I just don't see it being them. And to your point, Skubal's going to hit free agency. He's going to be out there, and it's going to be a bidding war to get one of the best pitchers in the league.
So for Philadelphia, it's going to be more or less the same names, but I'm pretty confident in saying, Tom, that barring a complete meltdown from Philadelphia in July, August, and September, or maybe some sort of sweep in the wild card, I think Don Mattingly's back, and I think he does one more year with Philadelphia. I don't think it's more than one, but I do think it will be one with Philadelphia.
Yeah, I would agree. I would see maybe a 2-year deal at most, just because they want to show some organizational stability. But outside of, again, a complete collapse, I think this is largely a non-issue. Mattingly's back next year, and they just keep it going maybe just a year-to-year contract type of thing. It's like, hey, if they're doing well, they'll just keep him around for one more year.
There was just like this period of time where the young players that were coming up were really starting to prove that they were ready to win now. And I remember you famously had a quote, I don't know if it was on Golf Digest, Golf Week, wherever it was, and you had said, I think that some of the top amateurs can compete with some of the top pros right now. I don't know if it was verbatim, but it was something in that same vein. And just kind of looking back on that quote and then seeing how right you were on how the next decade and a half went on, as far as just how good these players were and how ready they were to win. Did you feel like you were right at the time, and how nice is it to be right 15 years later?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I was right. Now, I was 22 years old, and hadn't really made a name for myself. So my opinion didn't matter really at that point. And so when I said that,
and that'll do it. Hope you enjoyed this week's content, and certainly hope you'll come back and join us again next week here on the Sports Grid Network. All right, welcome in Game Time Decisions here on this Monday fun day here as we've got the Major League Baseball Home Run Derby coming up, All-Star Game tomorrow, and then, of course, it'll all pick up for the second half of the year on Thursday, back at it on Friday. Joe Raineri alongside Gabe Morency. We have got you covered here. Little pre-flop for this Home Run Derby coming your way. World Cup tomorrow and Wednesday. Still a lot going on this week, even though baseball is taking a couple of days off. But pretty good ballpark tonight at Citizens Bank there, Gabe, for, well, a home run derby, especially if you're a left-handed hitter, my man. What are you thinking tonight?
Yeah, you're right. Good to see you, Joe. You know, I was just thinking, actually, though, this is sort of life without the World Cup right now, Joe, right? Like, we were kind of lucky. We were fortunate. We've had the World Cup. That's really, I mean, gotten this through to mid-July, right? You know, the old dog days of summer, so to speak. Like, you know, later in the week, it's time for people. Listen, I'm an MLS fan. You're in Miami. And MLS is obviously very popular there. But I think it's time for a lot of people to start learning some WNBA and MLS teams more than they know, Joe, because all you're going to have is baseball. So big, you know, obviously big soccer games coming up this week, but you're right, left-handed hitters, and something that caught my eye too. And I don't really like going chalk so much here, Joe, in these derbies, but I think the odds makers kind of got this right. As far as Kyle Schwarber is concerned, guys, this is his third home run derby. He hasn't won it before. You do this thing 3 times, it means you want to win, Joe. Like, he clearly isn't like, he's not just participating for fun. He wants to win this thing, and I can't help but see the reality of this, Joe, that 19 of his 32 home runs have come in this ballpark this year as well.
Hard to go against. There's a couple of lefties here. I think we'll have an advantage, but of course, right behind Schwarber is Caminero, who was last year's runner-up. But it's important that people understand, too, Gabe, this is not what it has been. The rules have changed. You know, they made this home run derby into like a cardio event over the last couple of years with the clock.
Yeah, I like that, Joe. I like that.
You know,
I don't like the
old
change.
Guys like Schwarber got killed. They got absolutely killed. They couldn't breathe.
It's a good point.
So,
I know, but wasn't it fun, though? It was like fast. Like a guy was like, I need 27, and you know the number, and it was like boom, 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 boom. But you're right, guys would start to go. So it's a good point that Joe brings up. Remember, it used to be like on a clock type thing, right? And now it's 20 swings. 20 swings in the first round, and it goes down after the 15, etc. We can go over the exact rules, but yeah, you're right, Joe. So no more clock, but good observation by you that this does help the older guys, doesn't it? Younger guys can get up there and just take 80 swings in a minute or something. The old guys, it wiped them out.
Killed them, Gabe. I mean, that's basically what it had done, but this is a little bit more like it used to be there. They brought it back a little bit of old school. So, 20 swings in round 1, 15 swings in the semis and final round, and it's only the top 4, Gabe, and that's the other thing, right? Not so much the head-to-head thing anymore.
Yeah, we're not head-to-head until the semis. Yeah, we're not head-to-head until the semis,
So give me the 4 best home run, because again, you could have walked into a buzzsaw, had 26 home runs in your match and didn't advance. So they've kind of cleaned it up a little bit, but you got some guys that are not spring chickens in this one. I mean, you've got a former champ, right? And what about Bryce Harper? He's going at it with his buddy there in Schwarber.
Yep. So the exact new format, guys. 8 participants, so there's 8 batters. Top 4 advance to round 2. 20 swings in round 1. 15 swings in round 2. 15 swings in the final round. A player who homers on his last swing in any round continues until he makes an out or he wins the round as well. So there's the format. And, as we stated, it's not head-to-head to start here, which I kind of like. That was one thing I didn't like, Joe.
Yeah.
Right? Like in the past, someone would get screwed. It'd be like, I hit 23, but the guy I went against hit 30.
Right.
And someone else would advance with 17. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like it didn't make sense often. Like so I understand, like, listen, I'm not going to lose sleep over home run derby rules. You know what I mean? They tweak it as we go here. But players do want to win this thing, and it's a good call, Joe. You don't want to take 4 guys. You know what I'm saying? You can't take like everybody. There's only 8 guys, but how many guys do you think you can take? Because I got my eye on Schwarber. You just mentioned Caminero, and he's the other guy. Like, so I don't mind, like, if we have 2 of the 4 going into the semis, right? So I'm gonna play Schwarber, but let's talk about some of the other guys that are in this competition. And something that I wanted your take on too. I'm fascinated about this one, Joe, because I bet this, like I pretty much bet this yearly, and it's been a while since I've lost this. The longest home run.
Yeah.
Like I've seen it at 484.5 and 483.5, depending. So, if you like the under or whatever, depends on if you like the over, each number is better. But I don't know if the modern, like, you figure that they're judging the distance right? You figure with today's technology, but I don't get it, Joe. How is it that, like, Frank Thomas and Willie Stargell and all these dudes, you hit the ball like 520 feet? You know what the longest home run like this year is? Out of the 8 guys in the home run derby, Caminero has hit a home run 463 feet.
Right, exactly.
Like, that's the longest one out of all these players. And the prop is 483.5. And you played baseball, Joe, so you know. And correct me if I'm wrong. To me, it's harder to hit the ball further, bro, on a batting practice. Like, to really smoke it, you got to hit like 100-mile-an-hour pitch to really drill it, Joe, like 500 feet, in my opinion. Like this batting practice stuff, there's not enough velocity on it, so it looks pretty and it gets high and stuff, but they're really not hitting it that far.
Well, and also I would say this. I'll add this, Gabe. What kind of balls are they using here tonight?
It's a great
Major
point.
League Baseball. Yeah, Major League Baseball.
Yeah, but wouldn't they
got a
juice
couple of
them? Like, why would
I
they
would have
get
to.
them? Like, wouldn't
Exactly.
they say, yeah, let's like give them a live batch of balls here? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But they don't.
Listen,
Joe.
I mean,
they don't.
I know.
I know.
know.
I'm betting it. I bet the under, Joe, and I'll risk it. Someone smokes one. God bless them. But I'm telling you,
last year
Ohtani hasn't.
Yeah. Well, don't forget, last year, O'Neal Cruz had 513, I think, 513. Aaron Judge had 513 in 2017. But for the most part, to your
here
point,
it is,
Dave,
yeah.
we've had a ton of guys in like the 470 range, but nothing more than that. Outside of O'Neal Cruz and Aaron Judge over the last 6 years, we don't have 500s guys. We don't have 490 guys really in this derby.
I have the list of the longest ones ever type thing. So Trevor Story went 518, Joe, in 2021. Frank Thomas, 519, 1994. Sammy Sosa, blah, blah, 520, 2022. Juan Soto, 2021. So it seems to me, Joe, I'm looking here, 2021, guys did crush it. Like, guys, 2021.
Yes.
So I don't know if it was live balls in 2021. Because
wasn't that in Colorado?
Yeah, good call. Was it? Oh, well, I'll double check. It had to be. You're right, because there's a lot of.
Yeah.
I have the top 10 list here. Sammy Sosa's hit the furthest one at 524 in 2002. Juan Soto, 520 in 2021. Sammy Sosa, 520, 2002. Frank Thomas, 1994. Trevor Story, 518 in 2021. Josh Hamilton, 518, 2008.
Yeah.
Sammy Sosa, again, 518, 2002. Bobby Abreu, 2005. Shohei Pete Alonso. Here's another one, 2021. Man, there was a lot of them. You're right, Joe. 2021 was Coors. That's why. 514 at Coors. Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't see the other one you're talking about. Maybe the 513 you're talking about was the regular season home run. Because this is Aaron Judge.
2017. O'Neal Cruz hit it last year.
2017. Okay, yes.
Yes.
But Joe, this bet hasn't lost like since 2021, bro.
I agree. I think they're going to park it right around the median where most guys hit it, and you're going to get one of these lunatics to hit it here tonight. Game time decision.
He gives them a chance, but they've got to keep putting people around him. I think he's a very good quarterback. I don't know that he's the one that elevates you all by himself. I think he still needs the help. Excellent player, perfect guy to lead your organization, perfect place for it. And by the way, I'd start him from day one. I wouldn't waste any time on it. But got to put pieces around him, and John Spytek has already started doing that.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
This is the third time he's been medically checked. Even the refs coming over. He's like, dude, like come on. Like after every sort of play in front of the net, the kind of goal he's done. He's
stop jumping.
He's on the turf, like you said, like he's like driving off the top rope. Look at him here again. I give him credit. He's freaking fearless.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Are you ready for el verano más futbolero de tu vida? Latination Football Club turns into Copa Nation, our live stream experience every day, de lunes a viernes, 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Pacific as well. Checking in after the games. In that slot between games, we got you, my friend. We're going to have celebrities, legends of the game, content creators, and a bunch of our friends that are going to keep you entertained and informed, letting you know what's happening all across the 3 countries that are going to be experiencing this crazy football tournament. Don't miss it. Copa Nation right here on Latin Nation every day. Check it out.
All right, welcome back in-game live. Game Time Decisions here. In-game live is coming up top of the hour. Kevin Walsh will man the ship there, and he will have the actual home run derby for you here, along with Kevin Mitch. I'm Joe Raineri alongside Gabe Morency, and we have got, we got some interesting angles to look at here tonight, Gabe, because you can still bet head-to-heads. You can still bet some of these total home runs by each guy in each round, but, since it's not head-to-head until we get to the semis or to the final, who's the top 4 tonight, Gabe? Who's making it to the next round?
Well, we talked about Kyle Schwarber, right? So let's take a look at Ben Rice. Are you buying into Ben Rice that he's really going to be able to win this? Now, one thing, you talked about it, Joe, obviously. Citizens Bank Ballpark, very, very friendly for left-handed hitters. He's had 7 home runs since June 30th. 19 of his 29 regular season home runs have come from the pull side, right? So how about that? 19 of his 29 jacks. Now he's playing in a left, but the thing is, this, Joe, even though it's the home run derby, guys do get nervous or it is big to them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think experience helps guys that have been in this before. So, to me, I like the fact that, we talked about it, that Cam Harrell's been in this before. Kyle Schwarber's been in this before. How do we not take a look at junior guys? 23 years, he's 23 years old only. I liked him, Joe, coming out of the WBC as a dark horse for the MVP, and I didn't do it. I looked, I was like, I didn't pull it true. I was like, this guy's good. This guy is good, and he's showing it right now, Joe. But I see this. How about this? He leads baseball. He's got 9 home runs that are 430 feet or further. And as I stated, he's got the longest home run out of anyone that's in this competition in the regular season so far. He hit a 463-foot shot against Arizona earlier this year. So he's got to be in the mix. What are your thoughts on him, Joe? What are your thoughts on Jordan Walker?
Yeah, well, listen, I think he's the guy to beat Caminero. Let's be honest, right? I mean, he's the guy that's been there. He's done this.
You could argue you're getting pretty good odds for him, too, at nearly 4-1 here.
Listen, the best thing to happen to him is that he's playing in Philadelphia and Schwarber and Harper are there. So, the market is giving you, because any place else, Gabe, I think he'd be hands down the easiest favorite. But because Schwarber is in there, you're going to get some value in there. But to your point, even with Jordan Walker, right? He's the youngest guy, I think, in this field. Not a ton of experience. I think it's going to be a great experience for him, but I'm not expecting a ton. I think I think this is going to be a part. Ben Rice, him. Caglione cracks me up because he only has, 15 home runs on the year? But he is either home run or strike out. But he's not going to strike out here. He strikes out 30% of the time. So that's the problem. BP, he should be able to crush it. Oh, he's huge.
He's a big dude, guys, right? 6'4", 250-pounder. I see here, Joe, he peaked at 116.1 miles per hour velocity off the bat once this year. That's some scary stuff. The ball's coming at you off the bat at 116 miles an hour. That's not fun if you're an infielder. But with all of his power, Joe, dude, his 15 home runs average 414 feet only. So that's what I'm saying, guys. And I see Ben Rice, too. Ben Rice barely gets the ball over the wall, Joe. That's why I'm talking about, I see this 483 stuff, and all right, I'm not taking Ben. It's almost process of elimination. I'm not taking Ben Rice. I'm not taking Caglione. I'm not taking Jordan Walker. What about Murakami, Joe, from Japan on the White Sox?
He's got the power, doesn't he, Gabe? The problem is, what do you have?
Wouldn't he get tired, though? Yeah, and he's coming off the injury. Yeah, I could see him sort of
that's tough.
I could see him, Joe, he might be the one that would, murder one, actually. You know what I mean? If he gets a hold of one, I could see him smoking, if someone beats me on this, it might be him.
Yep.
But like you said earlier about guys getting tired, I mean, he missed a month with a hamstring injury, guys. It's going to be hard for him to keep up all night, I think.
Well, he hit back in 2022. I mean, he's a power hitter. He's got 20 home runs. He played in just 60 games. But in 2022, over in Japan, he had 56 home runs in 141 games. So this is a guy that, yes. But again, what kind of shape is the guy in? I mean, he pulled his hamstring, played what, in one game since coming back? So I can't trust him. Yes, but as far as longest goes, this feels like a guy that could absolutely get one close to 500 or better here. I think there's a few of those guys, but bat speed plays a big part in this here, Gabe, because as far as I see, Caminero and Caglione are number 1 and 2 for bat speed in Major League Baseball. That's what creates home runs, launch angle and bat speed. So, and that's important when you're throwing batting practice. You better be able to get some speed on the ball there, especially if you're not a lefty, which, he's not.
If you look at the odds, guys, there's a big drop-off after, right? So you got Schwarber as the favorite. Caminero the second choice, sort of like, 3 plus 350 range type thing. And then it sort of drops down to plus 650 with Murakami. Jordan Walker 7-1. We talked about Big Jack plus 750. Bryce Harper, Joe, at those odds, pretty big odds for a guy that's won this before, and it is batting in his home park tonight. Like, I'm not taking Ben Rice at 10-1. What about Wilson Contreras? I'm not taking Contreras at 15-1. Four guys got to make it to the Final Four, right? I mean, there's got to be 4 of them.
It's got to be 4.
Bryce Harper at plus 850, Joe. Those are pretty good odds. Let's be real.
I love him I love him to advance. And he's in the midst of a terrible slump, too. I mean, he hasn't been able to hit water if he fell out of a boat, the last couple of weeks. But my goodness, being at home, being there, they all wanted him to be a part of this. He was one of the guys later that committed, wasn't right away. So, yeah, I could see him without a doubt. He was with the Nationals when he ended up winning it in 2018. I think he had 45 home runs over 3 rounds. This is an easier ballpark for him, I think, to hit this kind of thing on batting practice. So 20
how
home
about
runs
this, Joe?
on a year, no problem.
Bryce Harper, all right, plus 850, but how about this? Plus 105 to make the semifinals for Bryce Harper. So
I love
plus 105 for him to make the Final Four. It's only 8 guys.
Listen, Schwarber versus Harper. That's the way it should be. Book it right now. We got more game time decisions coming your way here on the grid.
He gives them a chance, but they've got to keep putting people around him. I think he's a very good quarterback. I don't know that he's the one that elevates you all by himself. I think he still needs the help. Excellent player, perfect guy to lead your organization, perfect place for it. And by the way, I'd start him from day one. I wouldn't waste any time on it. But got to put pieces around him, and John Spytek has already started doing that.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
This is the 3rd time he's been medically checked. Even the refs coming over. He's like, dude, like come on. Like after every sort of play in front of the net, the kind of goal he's done. He's on the
jumping.
He's on the turf, like you said, like he's like driving off the top rope. Look at him here again. I give him credit. He's freaking fearless.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Are you ready for el verano más futbolero de tu vida? Latin Nation Football Club turns into Copa Nation, our live stream experience every day de lunes a viernes, 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Pacific as well. Checking in after the games. In that slot between games, we got you, my friend. We're going to have celebrities, legends of the game, content creators, and a bunch of our friends that are going to keep you entertained and informed, letting you know what's happening all across the 3 countries that are going to be experiencing this crazy, crazy football tournament. Don't miss it. Copa Nation right here on Latin Nation every day. Check it out.
All right, welcome back in. Game Time Decisions here on the Sports Grid Network. Joe Raineri alongside Gabe Morency as we've got some home run derby action coming your way at the top of the hour. We'll give way to in-game live there. Craig Mish along with Kevin Walsh. They'll cover it for you. Gabe, tomorrow, another pretty big match in the World Cup, my friend. And coming out of the weekend, you and I covered those games on Saturday and the quarterfinal matches. I think we got the 4 best teams, right? I don't think anybody should be shocked of the 4 teams that are left standing, but of the 4 teams, to me, England's the least impressive at this point here, but you got to be in it to win it, and you still got 2 of the best in the game on your team, so they are certainly alive and well and certainly have enough, I think, to be able to beat Argentina.
The thing with England, it's interesting because their manager ripped the team after they beat Norway for some reason. Right? He was like, "Oh, we're lucky to win. We were terrible, and if we play like this, he was legit upset." And yeah, they did go like 30, 40 minutes without a shot right in that game at one point. But I like what Jude Bellingham said after. He goes, he doesn't know what it's like to play in the heat against Erling Haaland in Norway. Right? And he said, that was not an easy game, and we won. So I rather look at the positives. England have impressed me, Joe. They're that team. They're the Cowboys or the Maple Leafs or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People think every year it's their year, and it never is. So I've been around long enough that I just sort of ignored them. I was like, they're no, they'll find a way. Something will go wrong, and they'll get knocked out. But give them credit for getting to the Final Four. But guys, this is the first time ever actually that the top 4 ranked teams in the FIFA rankings are the semifinals, guys. So this is an ultimate blue blood. I mean, it doesn't get much more blue blood than France, Spain, England, Argentina. I'll tell you that.
Yep.
But it's interesting that Argentina, same thing, Joe. To me, listen, Argentina haven't been overly impressive either, right? They've showed cracks at their back end. Messi is showing his age a little bit right now, but they have that champion pedigree, don't they, Joe? Where they they find a way to win.
Experience matters.
We can talk about the calls, and I'm not saying that, no, they haven't been helped by calls along the way, right? But it is what it is. Champs get calls, and they find a way, Joe, because they're always wow, are they about to lose? And then they just sort of escape. But I don't think they can pull this escape act all the way through and win the championship. I think it catches up. They haven't played top-tier teams. And they nearly got knocked out by Egypt. They nearly got knocked out by Cabo Verde. They nearly got knocked. You and I watched, man. Switzerland were right freaking there with them, man. They were right there, right? And now you got England. To me, Joe, I love the under of the game. I'll tell you that. But I am surprised that England are the favorites, guys. England are the favorites to advance over Argentina. And they're the favorites in the 90 minutes as well.
Well, and my question is, Gabe, when Spain and France go at one another tomorrow, what are they going to have left in the tank, do you think? Or is that the final? I know a lot of people are looking at it saying, it's going to be better than whatever we get in the actual final. I mean, could they have enough left in the tank? Could they literally just get their pound of flesh and then give either England or Argentina a leg up here?
I actually think that the England-Argentina winner will have more battle scars coming out of their game.
Okay.
And one thing, Joe, France were tested once in this tournament.
Right.
Once against Paraguay. Right? Then they scored the 70th minute type of thing. So that was their challenge. They've been able to rest guys. Now listen, Mbappe, came out with the ankle, put ice on the ankle, but it's not really a concern. But France had the depth, Joe. I think France, they've been on the East Coast for the most part. They haven't traveled much. If you look at England, I mean, guys, England have played in Boston, Atlanta, Mexico City, back to Atlanta, whatever. They're all over the place.
Miami.
Dallas, Miami and the Heat. These guys are about to drop dead, England.
Yeah.
They're the ones, I think, it's catching up to them. They were just, you saw that, guys, that Norway game, let's call it out for what it is. It wasn't a great game. It was too hot for them, Joe. You were in Miami. Norway and England aren't meant to be playing on a Saturday afternoon in the Miami Heat, Joe. You know what I'm saying? It slowed them down.
I agree. Yep. I agree. And again, England a bit fortunate there that they slapped Erling Haaland with that penalty and took the goal off the board. But
they were lucky Buddy didn't pass the ball, Erling Haaland.
Oh, yeah, exactly correct. We had a couple of opportunities. Woo! But both games indoors, one at Jerry's World in Arlington, the other, of course, at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. So heat won't be a problem with these semifinal games. Should be a lot of fun. And the prices, better than we've seen, getting plus money on France, Spain, Argentina, and England.
You're getting plus money on some great teams, man. It's not it's rare, right? But you got to win at 90, though.
Yeah, well, you got to win in regulation. We'll
not
have
easy.
More as Game Time Decisions continues.
He gives them a chance, but they've got to keep putting people around him. I think he's a very good quarterback. I don't know that he's the one that elevates you all by himself. I think he still needs the help. Excellent player, perfect guy to lead your organization, perfect place for it. And by the way, I'd start him from day one. I wouldn't waste any time on it. But got to put pieces around him, and John Spytek has already started doing that.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
This is the third time he's been medically checked. Even the refs coming over. He's like, dude, like come on. Like after every sort of play in front of the net, the kind of goal he's done. He's
stop jumping.
He's on the turf, like you said, like he's like driving off the top rope. Look at him here again. I give him credit. He's freaking fearless.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Are you ready for el verano más futbolero de tu vida? Latin Nation Football Club turns into Copa Nation, our live stream experience every day, de lunes a viernes, 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Pacific as well. Checking in after the games. In that slot between games, we got you, my friend. We're going to have celebrities, legends of the game, content creators, and a bunch of our friends that are going to keep you entertained and informed, letting you know what's happening all across the 3 countries that are going to be experiencing this crazy football tournament. Don't miss it. Copa Nation right here on Latin Nation every day. Check it out.
All right, welcome back in. Game Time Decisions here on this Monday in the SportsGrid Network. Joe Raineri and Gabe Morency here with you as coming up top of the hour. We get the 2026 Home Run Derby. Go ahead, Gabe. What do you got?
Joe, we were just talking soccer, though, just during the break. Joe said, man, it's amazing how far away USA and Canada are from, like, the real teams. And you see it, Joe, like how crazy it is. Like, put it this way, like, Morocco are the 6th-ranked team in the world. They're good, right? They're good.
Yes.
And we can't beat them. Like, Canada played them. We played them 2 World Cups in a row. They beat us 2-1 and 3-0. Like, we can play again tomorrow. They'll beat us again, Joe, tomorrow. Like, you know what I mean? They'll beat us again.
Exactly.
So, like, we play Morocco, and it's like, we just can't beat them. It's like, yeah, we're close. We sort of hang around, but, like, nah, we don't win. And then you watch Morocco play France, and they don't have a hope in hell against France. Like, you saw, like, the U.S. got smoked by Belgium, and Belgium can't beat these top teams. Like, honestly, like, if USA, like, all that, USA could win stuff was, like, the dumbest, like, thing ever. Same with, like, I never said Canada was going to win. Like, if Canada or USA played France, Joe, like, tomorrow, like, if we were playing them, and, like, and it nearly happened. If Canada beat Morocco, they would have played France. It would have been, like, 5-0. Like France could have named their score. Joe. It would have been 4-0. Yes. Like look what Belgium did to the U.S. They didn't like the U.S. because of all that stuff, and they beat them. Like they ran it up, right? And they could have scored more if they wanted Belgium. They're like, 4-1's good enough. But to put in context, guys, Belgium played the United States in a friendly, like leading into the World Cup. They beat them 5-2.
Yeah. Not a shot.
There's such a gap. Like all this stuff, what's wrong with soccer in America? Nothing's wrong with soccer in America. They're better at it. Like, nothing's wrong.
Right.
They're just better at it than we are. Point blank. It will never be as good as them.
Well, yeah, and you can just, the passing, the way they move.
The footwork, it's like the skill, bro.
Like that's DNA. That's like millions of generations of soccer in your blood, being from Belgium and France. Like, we ain't got that with
like
Team
they do
USA.
drills.
Like,
I saw Terry Henry
ridiculous.
talking about. They were saying Terry Henry was saying that in France, there, his coaches didn't let him use his speed.
Wow.
Like basically in practice, and they tell him figure it out. No, figure it out with your feet. Like, you can't, yeah, we know you're fast. We know you're better than everyone, and you can go around them, but no. And they'd put, like, a bunch of dudes in front of him, and he'd say, I want to see you dribble your way through this with footwork. And, like, you see Mbappe, Joe, like, people talk about Mbappe's goals, bro. Like, watch his feet, Joe. Like, sometimes when he has the ball, bro, like, it's insane, man. Like, it's almost not natural. Like you said, like, you can't, like, that's just like you said. That's like DNA type in the same way like Wayne Gretzky, like with hockey. Right? Like, that's why, like, I just got upset about the whole, if NFL players played soccer. What do you mean? They can't play soccer. What do you mean? Like, if NFL players play soccer? They couldn't do it. It's not their skill set. In the same way, whatever. Mbappe is not a wide receiver in the NFL. Like, it's a different skill set, right? But soccer, just the footwork is just, it's so hard, Joe. Like, soccer's not about running and, like, people think in America, oh, if we had Erling Haaland and a big 6'5" guy, he's one guy, right? And he's the biggest soccer player. He's one guy that's big. And by the way, did Norway win? No.
No, exactly. Exactly.
You know,
and he doesn't do, and he's not the most well-rounded guy either.
Them, Joe. And Norway are like not close to like France in that level. Like, they couldn't be, you know what I mean? It's just such a high level, guys, of like, it just, there's no comparison to it. Like, like to our sports, right? Because even the Dodgers are beatable. Like, best teams in North American sports are beatable. But these other teams, these global teams like this, it's just next level stuff. But speaking of global, you brought it up, Joe. So, yeah, you know these nut jobs in Philadelphia want nothing more than a Harper-Schwarber final, huh?
Correct. That's it, and that's, you know, and then you'll have Trout out there because they're rolling him out. He's a big Philly guy too, so he'll be out there hooting and hollering for all of these guys, and the crowd will go absolutely ballistic. But to quite honest with you, I mean, it's not. Look at the odds. It's not hard to figure out that Schwarber's the favorite. And at what'd you say, 8-1 for Bryce Harper, a guy who's been there and done this in his own home park? I
plus
like the chances of that being the final, right?
Yeah, guys, plus 8. Like we said, there's such the big drop-off, guys, like after Junior. And Junior's coming down every time I look. It keeps coming down. Now it's 3 plus 340. But Kyle Schwarber plus 290, Junior plus 340, Murakami plus 550. They're giving him a lot of love, the odds makers. Like Joe said, he hit 56 home runs in Japan before. But like me and Joe talked about, guys, the guy, he missed the last month. And now he's supposed to, like, keep up in the heat here in Philadelphia and swing all night? Like, I'm not buying it. Jordan Walker's got the youth. He's a big kid, but I don't think he's got, like I said, like, dude, Bryce Harper's 9-1 now, Joe. It changed. 9-1.
Yep.
How the hell do I not take that in an 8-man field in his home park? And he's won this before. So we know he's good at the home run derby.
He's been there. He's done that. Knows this park. Lefty. A lot of things going his way. What about this?
Why are the odds, Joe? Because he's slumping so much in the regular season, like you said?
Oh, he was awful down the stretch.
Right?
Yeah. Well, because I think they're just going, well, Schwarber's going to win it. Like, Schwarber's the home run guy. And, you know, I mean, he's got 20 home runs, Harper. It's not like he's not a home run guy. You know, he can more, and especially now that they took the clock off, all of these guys have a pretty decent shot. But it comes down to American League winner. I saw that at minus 160, 165, because obviously you got Caminero there. But I don't know. Does the National League have more guys that can legit win this year?
To me, I would say National League wouldn't. You know, I mean, personally, I just like getting the two home guys here. They know the park. They know where to hit it. It's just, you know what I mean? They're comfortable. This is where they take batting practice every day. There's just a lot to like about the two Philly guys. But I like Junior. Like we said, guys, we can't take everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. But I like the Kyle Schwarber play. I already put it in. I better get Junior in before these odds keep changing. And I did play under in the long home run. So I played under 484 feet.
I love that.
You got name the finalists, total home runs in tournament. Like, I don't know. You start to get into total home runs, like it's kind of a crapshoot, right? I mean, it's kind of random. Total home runs in tournament, 117 and a half. It's got to be more than 118 home runs hitting a home run derby, Joe.
Well, you got to think, especially without the clock now, too, as well. But again, it's
so
a
20
pitch
swings.
count, right?
Yeah, so it's 20 swings. So if you miss, like you pop out, that's one of your swings gone. So how many do you think guys will hit actually, like out of 20? Like 10? 8?
What are they going to average? 8 to 10 in the first round, right? And then
12
from
maybe
there,
someone
it's
gets
just
on
going
a
to be
roll type thing. Like,
I will say this. They are giving guys the opportunity when you get after the first round, if your last ball up, you get to the 15th ball and you hit a home run, you can keep going. So
exactly.
They'll give you extra swings if you hit the last one out of the park. Like, you know, like
you
they
don't
have
stop
those
until
different
you get it
color
out, actually. Yeah. Like even
Correct.
after 20, you can keep going if you're,
Yes.
I'm going to play this, Joe. Oh, no, it's
I
going to
like
be
it.
What am I supposed to sit here and write down every home run all night? All right, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3.
Yeah. Well,
it's going to be hard to follow.
Exactly. Was that and it's because the camera work is terrible too, Gabe. You're like, wait a minute, was that a home run?
Exactly.
Wasn't it
and I swear, Joe, isn't there always a debate about like they miss one or something? It always happens.
That's
it's like,
correct.
dude, you guys missed one. Like you hit one and it didn't count. Like you guys missed it. There's always that debate. Oh, did it get over the wall? And I always love seeing the kids get smoked in the head, Joe, with the balls out there.
Yeah, I'm with you. The kid runs into the wall, doesn't know, trips,
So
falls.
worst idea. Let's take a bunch of kids and put them in the outfield.
Yeah, or when you get like Caglione up here ripping the ball at
I think they
118
might have
miles
stopped
an
it
hour.
because someone did finally get hurt. Like we were always waiting for someone to get smoked, and it was like might have been 2 years ago. Remember the kid finally did get hit. So like a kid got hit in the head.
Somebody got crushed. Somebody got crushed. Now they won't let anybody near. Like everyone stand at the wall. All
now they got a couple of pro players in front of the kids now, and the kids are at the wall.
Exactly. A lot of nets out in the outfield here. All right, we got more game time.
He gives them a chance, but they've got to keep putting people around him. I think he's a very good quarterback. I don't know that he's the one that elevates you all by himself. I think he still needs the help. Excellent player, perfect guy to lead your organization, perfect place for it. And by the way, I'd start him from day one. I wouldn't waste any time on it. But got to put pieces around him, and John Spytek has already started doing that.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
This is the third time he's been medically checked. Even the refs coming over. He's like, dude, like come on. Like after every sort of play in front of the net, the kind of goal he's done. He's
stop jumping.
He's on the turf, like you said, like he's like driving off the top rope. Look at him here again. I give him credit. He's freaking fearless.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Are you ready for el verano más futbolero de tu vida? Latination Football Club turns into Copa Nation, our live stream experience every day, de lunes a viernes, 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Pacific as well. Checking in after the games. In that slot between games, we got you, my friend. We're going to have celebrities, legends of the game, content creators, and a bunch of our friends that are going to keep you entertained and informed, letting you know what's happening all across the 3 countries that are going to be experiencing this crazy football tournament. Don't miss it. Copa Nation right here on Latin Nation every day. Check it out.
Google. All right, welcome back in Game Time Decisions here on the Sports Grid Network as we're getting ready for the Home Run Derby a little bit later tonight. The All-Star Game tomorrow. And Gabe, I don't know if you've gone to a Blue Jays game, but apparently the Blue Jays fans have no problem placing votes for the All-Star game. The team is 45-51. Is there not a Blue Jays player on this American League team? You got to be kidding me.
I was thinking about this. It's kind of a simple handicap almost, like oh, well, what do you think of the All-Star game? Well, it's basically the Toronto Blue Jays versus the National League.
They're 45-51.
It's like basically the Toronto Blue Jays. They're like pretty much in every position. But we know the history of the All-Star game, and it's always sort of gone back and forth, right? Growing up as a kid, Joe, if you remember, like in the 80s, the National League would win all the time. All the time. Because the National League won in 1972 all the way up to 1982. And they lost a couple of times. And then boom, if you guys recall, then the American League was like free money, Joe, in the All-Star game.
Yes.
Like literally like 14 years in a row or something. Like, 1988 to 1993, the American League, and then 1997 all the way to 2009, the American League. We had that one tie, 3 in a row National League, and then boom again, another American League run, 2013 all the way to 2019. American League, American League, American League, American League, American League, American League, American League. It's insane. The National League actually did win last year and have won 2 of the last 3, though. So this little American League sort of run is done.
Yeah, that was the end of that. And again, I mean, so many guys aren't pitching, though. I mean, Schlittler's not pitching with the American League. Scooble's not pitching. You're right. Wheeler turned him down because he didn't want to be your third choice. And he's right. There's no Skeens, no Ohtani.
Yeah, he was insulted that he wasn't. Yeah, he was actually the 5th choice. Like, they called 4 other guys before him, and he knew it. And he goes, no, I'm not doing that.
I'm good.
He got insulted.
Yeah, he's like,
he literally told him, I'm insulted. Yeah, literally, like, in most guys we know that's not true. Like, he was like, he admitted it. Yeah. He said, screw you guys. Like, you think I'm the 5th, option? No. If you're looking.
I don't blame him.
You got the American League roster is pretty good. You got Trout, Alvarez, Langelier, Caminero, Bobby Witt Jr., Cody Bellinger, Ben Rice, Riley Green, and then the Blue Jays, Ernie Clement, Dylan Cease. So that's the starting lineup. National League starting lineup: Kyle Schwarber, Juan Soto, Freddie Freeman, C.J. Abrams, Max Muncy, Ozzie Albies, Brandon Marsh, Andy Pages, Drake Baldwin. Oh, and that's right, Christopher Sanchez is the starter, the other Philly. Hard not to like the National League, Joe. Look at this,
I'm with
the starting lineups.
What's the price? I mean, the price is what, 130, 140?
And we got and it's a National League park, bro, with a local pitcher starting the game.
I'm sorry. I think the price should be a little bit higher. And I still fail. I mean, congratulations. You got Bobby Witt and a bunch of guys that'll you can't
minus
single your way around. Yeah,
you talked about it. So you got
price.
A bunch of Jays are here that really aren't all-stars, and
no way.
A lot of guys not having great years. Like, if you look at the American League roster, guys, Joe, it's more almost like last year that they were all good. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, it's like names. Like, Bobby Witt's supposed to be really good. Like, the Blue Jay guys are good. And the guys on the National League are having better years, actually. They're more legitimate all-stars.
Big
it's
time.
minus 140, which you don't usually see. Like, normally the All-Star game is kind of a pick-em, right?
Yep.
Even, when people are perceived to have one team better than the other, it'll be minus 125 or something like that. Like, 140 is kind of rare, so the odds makers see the same thing we do when we look at these rosters. Total 7.5, always perplexing to me. I kind of lean unders in All-Star game, Joes, but
always.
You just said the best pitchers aren't really here.
That's correct.
And I can't bet it under 7.5 in this park. So, you know what I mean?
Nope. And listen,
like 5-4,
I
like
can see the
5-3,
National League
5-3
scoring
gets you
7. Yeah, I could see them scoring 7 on their own. So against some of these lame pitchers that they got rolling in for the American League. I'm with you. I think the National League is absolutely the side. I just don't see any way around it. National League ballpark, that lineup is, given just what the names you rattled off right now. You wouldn't take the top 3 hitters, top 4 hitters in the National League over the top 4 with the American League? There's no Judge. And Ohtani's not even here. Like, he's not even available for this one.
No, and they're still stacked. They're still stacked. Yeah, like, I mean, Ozzie Albies, Max Muncy, yep. C.J. Abrams, Freddie Freeman, yep. Juan Soto, Kyle Schwarber.
Yep.
Like, they've got themselves a lineup here that should be able to put some runs on the board, Joe.
Gabe, I'm with you. I like Nationals, maybe even a team total over. I mean, the National League, I'm all over it with that, too. So, MVP, though, too, tomorrow. You got to figure who's going to go yard, right? Yeah, you got to love Freddie Freeman's chances, right? You got to love Freddie for an opportunity to go yard a couple of times tomorrow as well.
Another left-handed hitter. You're right, Joe. Right? Left-handed Park. One thing with Freddie Freeman, too, he's not in the retirement tour mode yet, but you'll notice, like, he's sort of in soaking it up mode a little bit.
Yep.
Right? Like, he actually admitted earlier, I don't know if you guys saw this, but he said, like, about a month ago that he goes, I wasn't really thinking about retirement before, but he goes, my priorities are kind of changed. Like, the guy's done it all. Like, he's basically admitting it. I mean, dude, the guy hit a grand slam in the World Series, just won 2 World Series in a row. He's 3-time World Series champion. You know, he had the health issues with his kid and stuff. Like, he basically said, I'm really just enjoying everything because I don't know how much longer I'm going to do this.
Yeah. Level of peace.
And he didn't say, I'm retiring tomorrow, but he just said, he basically said, I never envisioned retiring, but he goes, now I kind of do. And he goes, I'm just sort of enjoying this and taking it like one day at a time and like soaking it all in. So I could see him like kind of wanting to have fun here tomorrow and like coming up.
Absolutely.
But Joe, I hate to be so square, but I'm thinking a local guy too with Schwarber again.
It's hard, and I wouldn't shock me if it was Harper. None of that would shock me at all. But
even Ozzie Albies, I don't know. Ozzie Albies goes 2 for 3 or something. You know, I don't know. Like,
absolutely, Abrams is a monster right now. I mean, the collective batting average right now of the National League is ridiculous. All right, we'll wrap it up for you as Game Time decision.
He gives them a chance, but they've got to keep putting people around him. I think he's a very good quarterback. I don't know that he's the one that elevates you all by himself. I think he still needs the help. Excellent player, perfect guy to lead your organization, perfect place for it. And by the way, I'd start him from day one. I wouldn't waste any time on it. But got to put pieces around him, and John Spytek has already started doing that.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
This is the 3rd time he's been medically checked. Even the refs coming over. He's like, dude, like come on. Like after every sort of play in front of the net, the kind of goal he's done. He's on the
jumping.
He's on the turf, like you said. Like he's like driving off the top rope. Look at him here again. I give him credit. He's freaking fearless.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Are you ready for el verano más futbolero de tu vida? Latination Football Club turns into Copa Nation, our live stream experience every day de lunes a viernes, 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Pacific as well. Checking in after the games. In that slot between games, we got you, my friend. We're going to have celebrities, legends of the game, content creators, and a bunch of our friends that are going to keep you entertained and informed, letting you know what's happening all across the 3 countries that are going to be experiencing this crazy, crazy football tournament. Don't miss it. Copa Nation right here on Latin Nation every day. Check it out.
All right, welcome back in Game Time Decisions here on this Sports Grid Network as we look to wrap up this edition together. Joe Raineri alongside Gabe Morency. We've got the Home Run Derby coming up here in just a few. In fact, another edition of In Game Live coming your way. Kevin Walsh alongside Craig Mish. They'll carry you right through it. As far as Gabe and I, though, I think we're pretty set here. We're going home team homers and Caminero from the American League. And I think that's some combination of those three guys likely are going to be in the final there. What do you think, Gabe?
Yeah, I've started to add to my portfolio a little bit here. I'm starting to click more than I'd like, actually, Joe. like normally, the home run derby, normally it's sort of like the slam dunk contest, right?
Yeah.
You bite the bullet, you bet on a guy, you kick back, and you're like, whatever happens, happens here. You hope to cash the plus 450 or whatnot, right? This one, though, all these options are starting to get to me, Joe. I'm like, oh, yeah, over 117 and a half. Oh, I like that. Right. So I got in on that. But I'm going to go with Kyle Schwarber. We got him in at plus 275. I'm going to play Junior Caminero as well at plus 340. So I got two guys to win, Schwarber and Caminero. Longest home run hit under 484.5 feet. And total home runs over 117 and a half. It's a home run derby, so there's got to be home runs.
I agree. And you know what? I'm going to go for longest
there's 8
home
guys,
run.
Joe. Like, think about it. 20 swings, like you and I talked about it. Like, let's say 10. Someone will get hot. Someone will go like 14 out of 20 type thing. You know, I bet you the worst will probably be like 7 or something. Like, I think we can rack up like a bunch of them in the first round. Like, you know, like if I can get to 80, 90, and like 90 plus, like I said, maybe that, you know, that they've done the math on this more than I have, Joe, right? I just saw this, but
yes,
I'm walking right in here. Give me over 117 and a half home runs hit.
I like it. And you know what? Murakami for me is the guy that's going to have the longest home run, whatever that may be. It wouldn't shock me if he gets the big one. By the way,
let me see. I think we have odds for this. Let me see if I have
for
odds
the
for that.
longest.
Yeah, player to hit
Keep
longest
in mind
home run.
who's pitching,
yes,
too,
sir.
Gabe, because he's using his actual BP thrower that he pitched that, you know, he's been with all year at the White Sox. A lot of these other guys, like Ben Ryan, guys bringing in their fathers and stuff, which is
yeah, that
great,
never works. That never works. Yeah,
it doesn't mean they
I'm
know
with you.
that they're going to throw it. So
I like it. I assume too with the Phillies, it'll be the batting practice guy. It's just perfect.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Same guy.
The old guys. Yep.
Yeah, I like when they do the dad thing. I remember Frazier with his brother was pretty good, but they kind of cheated. Remember his brother was like throwing the ball like he was throwing like so fast, two of them. Like they was like swinging, the ball was still in the air, and they were like, dude, like you gotta wait. You can't like they were like bang, bang, bang. It was great. But yeah, here it is, Joe. Longest home run. Junior plus 300, Schwarber plus 350, Jordan Walker plus 400, Caglione plus 450, Murakami plus 475, Contreras 16-1, Ben Rice 25-1, Harper 20-1 for longest home run tonight.
Yes. Yep. So there you go. I'm telling you, we got keep an eye on the who's pitching who. By the way, you're right, Gabe. Schwarber is actually using the assistant hitting coach. So exactly the guy that he's familiar with. So is Harper there. Jordan Walker is using the same pitcher, basically the Cardinals bullpen catcher. Same one that Albert Pujols used in 2022. So,
he's good, that guy. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. Some guys are coming with, they understand the concept here. Other guys are like, hey,
it's a great point, guys. The pitcher's important because, as I stated earlier,
huge.
Some of these guys' dads and whatever, man, they're lobbing it in. They're not getting it. They're breaking the rhythm. They're not like getting it where it needs to be. These batting practice guys and bullpen catchers and stuff, they know the players. They know, all right, correct. I'm going to throw it in here like 80 at this guy. This is the way he likes it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm going to pick it up a little bit here because guys, like I said, you can't. You need the pitcher is so important. This Joe, it really is. He's so critical.
Huge. Yes. Same guy that pitched to Caminero last year for Thomas Francisco. Same guy that also pitched to Randy Arozarena when he finished
sounds like all these
in
players have figured it out. There's no more dads and stuff, Joe. It sounds like these guys are like, no. Like, I'm bringing the real guy in here. Yeah.
No. We're going to try to win this thing is exactly what they are saying now here. So, except for Rice and Caglione, they'll have their fathers pitching to them. Contreras has got a guy that's been thrown to him since 2012 when he was with the Cubs organization. So a lot of these guys are saying, if I'm going to participate in this game, I'm gonna sit there and give it my the best foot forward. So should be interesting coming up though. And you and I are both on the same page. National League tomorrow. Lay it at 140 because when you wake up, Gabe, that's going to be 150 tomorrow. I can promise you.
I agree. I wouldn't be surprised if we get to 160 by first pitch in Philadelphia.
Yes.
People haven't even really paid attention to the All-Star game yet. They'll sort of notice tomorrow. Oh, yeah, look at the lineup. Oh, God, look at the National League. Oh, it's in Philadelphia. I'm like,
oh, yeah. Shocker. Unreal.
And we have
all
France
right, guys,
tomorrow.
enjoy. France also, yes. In-game live, game day coming up.
He gives them a chance, but they've got to keep putting people around him. I think he's a very good quarterback. I don't know that he's the one that elevates you all by himself. I think he still needs the help. Excellent player, perfect guy to lead your organization, perfect place for it. And by the way, I'd start him from day one. I wouldn't waste any time on it. But got to put pieces around him, and John Spytek has already started doing that.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
This is the third time he's been medically checked. Even the refs coming over. He's like, dude, like come on. Like after every sort of play in front of the net, the kind of goal he's done.
Yeah.
He's
stop jumping.
He's on the turf, like you said, like he's like driving off the top rope. Look at him here again. I give him credit. He's freaking fearless.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Are you ready for el verano más futbolero de tu vida? Latination Football Club turns into Copa Nation, our live stream experience every day, de lunes a viernes, 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Pacific as well. Checking in after the games. In that slot between games, we got you, my friend. We're going to have celebrities, legends of the game, content creators, and a bunch of our friends that are going to keep you entertained and informed, letting you know what's happening all across the 3 countries that are going to be experiencing this crazy football tournament. Don't miss it. Copa Nation right here on Latin Nation every day. Check it out.